Hi, my name's Maddie Freeman, and today I'm going to be telling you a little bit about my internship at People's Community Clinic this semester. First, I want to go over a few objectives that I'm going to be talking about today. After my presentation, you'll be able to state People's Community Clinic's mission statement. You'll be able to state 2 of my daily tasks here at People's, and you'll explain 1 out of 2 of my semester-long projects. So People's Community Clinic is located in Austin, Texas, and they have a mission statement to improve the health of the medically underserved and uninsured Central Texans by providing high-quality, affordable health care with dignity and respect. And at People's Community Clinic, I really saw this played out in the day-to-day inner workings of the clinic. For my day-to-day tasks, a lot of times I would set up the room where prenatal groups were held, and just a little bit of explanation. A prenatal group is where they get lots of pregnant moms that are around the same terms, and they get into a room and they get to learn all about their pregnancies and what's going to happen after they give birth. And so I would just go set up the rooms for that, and that also involved gathering and preparing the snacks for the groups. I also cut out diaper orders. So a really cool thing about People's Community Clinic is that they provide free diapers to families who need them. And the diaper orders are just how the families order them. And then I would make a lot of copies for health educators, and I kind of expected that going into my internship, knowing that I would be making copies and kind of doing the intern duties. And I even had fun doing that. I got really close with the copy machine, and I kind of understand it now, so that's really great. And finally, I shadowed a lot of prenatal visits, and I'll talk a little bit more about that when I tell you about my projects. So first off, my goals and objectives, these first 2 I put on the same slide, and they might be hard to see, but the reason I did that is because these first 2 are extremely similar, and both of them morphed throughout my semester. So my first one was to create a group visit lesson plan for women in the first trimester of pregnancy. And this second one here is for the 3rd trimester of pregnancy, so it's the same thing. But I didn't end up making lessons plans. What I ended up doing is making boxes for the 1st trimester and for the 3rd trimester. And I will also get into a little bit more detail when I tell you about my projects. My 3rd goal was to increase my self-efficacy towards health education, and I definitely accomplished this goal throughout the semester, because at the beginning of the semester I did not think I was equipped at all. Even with all the classes I got taught at A&M last semester, I didn't think I was equipped to be able to give people health information. But after this semester, I have learned an insurmountable amount of information about how to be healthy, how to live healthy, and I also got to watch health educators teach people, and so now I feel very equipped and prepared to be able to tell people about how to live healthy lives. And my 4th goal was to expand my network for future employment opportunities, and I did this through meeting different providers at the clinic, and I even got to shadow a family nurse practitioner and watch her do a visit. And that was really awesome, because that's my big end goal, is to be a family nurse practitioner. So my first project that I worked on, I actually did 2 projects. And the first one was the Prenatal Health Education Visit Efficiency Project. And what I did here was I wanted to fine-tune the 1st trimester and the 3rd trimester education visits. They cut down those visits significantly. Originally when I started, those visits were about an hour long, and now they're 10 minutes. So I had to figure out a way to get all of that information into 10 minutes. And what I did was I made motivational interviewing questions, and I made this portable box that they can carry into their visit, and they have everything in there that they could ever need. And I don't know if you can see it, but it's right here. It has files, and there's even children's books in there, because a lot of times patients come in with their little kids and they're distracted, and so we put some books in there to help the little kids too. And then my second project that I did was worked on the summer lunch program, and that's where kids get to come in during the summer and they get a free lunch. And they kind of wanted, my boss wanted me to make something to where we could teach them how to be healthy while they're at the summer lunch program. And so what I did was I developed theme days, and I created a ton of activities for summer lunch program to do on the certain theme days. The areas of responsibility that I covered throughout the semester was Area 1, which was assess the needs, resources, and capacity for health education. And how I did this was I shadowed tons and tons of health education visits, and I learned so much in those visits. I learned how to talk to patients. I learned how to be a listener instead of a talker all the time. And I learned how to do motivational interviewing, and that was really a great skill that I'm going to be able to use in all aspects of life. And then the second area I covered was Area 2, which is planning health education and promotion. And I did this when I worked on the summer lunch program, and I planned the days that they're going to do and the activities that they're going to do. And so here's my photo reflection. I wanted to show you one of the boxes that I created. This is the third trimester box. And inside it is all those files with anything they could possibly need during their visit. That includes forms, it includes flyers and calendars and all different kinds of things. And that was for my professional experience. And what I learned by doing that is that I really like organization, and I'm good at it. And I can use that in my professional career as a nurse. A lot of organizing goes into being a good nurse. So I'm very excited that I learned that about myself. And then for my personal experience, I learned that in my day-to-day life, I am a creative person. I had to use a lot of creativity when I was going through the summer lunch program, and I created 2 discovery bottles to help with reading skills. And then for my academic experience, this is a binder that I created, and it has all the nutrition resources. And by creating this binder myself, I actually learned all about how to have how to be healthy during your pregnancy and what kind of breakfasts you should be eating. And now I get to go and use that information in my schooling, and I get to tell people it as well. So some strengths that I saw, and I just sort of touched on them a little bit, was that I am creative and I have organization skills. And I think that these are both going to come in handy, both in my everyday life and in my nursing career. And then a couple of weaknesses that I saw. I'm not great at confronting people who are in charge of me. Every time that I would need to leave a little early to go to an appointment, I would get really nervous before letting my boss know. But every time she was so understanding and completely forgiving of anything that I ever needed to tell her that I did wrong or something like that. And so this semester I sort of kind of grew in that area, but I did notice that it was a weakness. And then I'm not very good at hearing criticism and not taking it personally. There were some times when my boss I would give her something and she would say, "Oh, I actually meant for you to do this," and I would have to do something different, and I would take that too personally, and that's something that I can continue to work on. So the most important thing that I learned this semester was how to use Maslow's hierarchy of needs and apply that to the patients that I see. So for example, a patient that doesn't have their food, water, warmth, and rest, they're not going to be worried about their intimate relationships with their newborn babies. They're going to be worried about, okay, how are we going to get our next meal? So I need to address those situations before I even talk about this one. And it's really important to meet these needs before that. And my boss taught me this every time we got a patient, and I would say, "Oh, we need to really focus on how close they are with their baby." And she'd say, no, they're not going to care about that right now. They want to get here first. So that was really cool to learn. And so my plans after graduation are to go to UTMB's nursing school in Galveston, and then I want to become a family nurse practitioner after having a couple of years in the clinical experience area. And actually, by shadowing a family nurse practitioner at People's Community Clinic, I was able to solidify that I do want to be a family nurse practitioner. And finally, I would just like to thank Dr. Ballard for being an amazing supervisor this semester and giving me great feedback. And also I'd like to thank my supervisor at People's Community Clinic, Theron Gieslin. She taught me more than I could ever learn in a semester at a regular school. She taught me not only how to be a good health educator, but also how to be a good human. And And here is my works cited, and thank you for listening.